Welcome once again to your weekly update from the city of New Hope. Let's chat with the mayor to find out what's new and upcoming in the city. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
I'm well, Dave. How are you?
I am very good. We're
Good.
recording this on October 6th. And to begin with, we have a meeting to talk about that's coming up tonight on the 6th and also one on the 7th. Let's begin, Mayor, with the 6th. Which group is meeting and what are some of the items they'll touch on?
Yeah, with the council not meeting, being this is the first Monday of the month, the Human Rights Commission is meeting tonight, October 6th at 7 p.m. At the New Hope City Hall. And I think one of the things that they are going to be discussing is going to be art in the parks. So that's one of the things that I know that's on their docket for a meeting, and I think that is this evening. Tomorrow night, the Planning Commission will be meeting at 7 p.m. at the New Hope City Hall, and they are going to be discussing the text amendment regarding the cannabis business regulations throughout the cities. We do have, by state statute, we have to make two licenses available for recreational use of marijuana sales. We do have one company that has secured a license, and we have another company, Rise, that because they owned a medical marijuana license, they automatically get a recreational license. And the interesting thing about this is that the state decided that if you had a medical license, you automatically could sell recreational, and that is going to be a new brand of license. It's going to be a dual purpose license, and that will not count towards your two that we're supposed to have. So we have to have three licenses available. And the way the state broke that down was per 14,000 people you have in your city, you have to make one license available. And we're just around 21,000 people. And because we went over that 14,000, we have to have two licenses. Rise on top of it is a different
Mhm.
type of license, so we can't regulate that. We also have to grandfather Rise in despite the fact that they do not meet the buffer zones. Again, the state has taken away any ability we have to regulate that. So, state legislature. So
Mhm.
that's what's coming on this week for meetings.
All right. And all of this is happening in all cities here in the state of Minnesota. So New Hope is not
Absolutely.
alone. And there
No.
is some timing that affects this as well. Is that correct? That cities have to have things in place by a certain time. So the clock, if you will, is ticking.
Yeah, absolutely. And we cannot zone them out of our city, meaning you can't say it can't be within 10,000 feet of a residential daycare because we have residential daycares throughout the city, and that would
Mhm.
effectively zone them out of the city. The state would take action against the city if we were to do that. So we followed best practices, and we're continuing to move forward with this.
So that again is something that's on the Planning Commission agenda coming up on the 7th, continuing in community development that works with the Planning Commission. Let's go to scattered site housing. One property to talk about, and good news here, the sale is coming.
Yep, the sale is done. It
Great.
happened September 29th. We bought the home for $175,000 with traditional closing costs paid by each party. Um, And the reason I wanted to mention this is that attached with this is a developmental update that gets sent out to every property owner within 500 feet, as well as it's posted on the city's website. We want to be as forthcoming with information as we can. We want people to know what's happening, what's going on in their neighborhoods. People have seen an old dilapidated home And when we're coming in with a scattered site house, we want people to understand what we're doing, when we're doing it, how we're doing it. So this update, developmental update, it goes out to all of the residents. And again, people can also find it on our website if you're not within that 500 feet.
Mhm.
It's certainly public information.
And here's that website, newhopemn.gov. So if you want to keep up to date on the scatter site housing project and other things happening in the city, you can do it there. Also on the website, information about the city's police department. And you want to give us the update here on incidents for the past week. How did things go?
Yeah, we had 448 police-related incidents between September 25th and October 1st. That number's up. That's not surprising to us because of the summer type weather we were experiencing.
Mhm.
So I know we had a run on medicals and other issues and incidents. But again, officers have been certainly able to handle and keep up with their calls and still have plenty of time for the community engagement thing, the coffee with the cops, the visiting different senior centers and apartment buildings. They're staying awfully busy.
Can imagine. And here is a recap of some busy officers actually in one of the area schools. So this is the officer spotlight this week and a great, great story. Tell us about this, Mayor.
We are so proud of school resource officers Jansen and Arthur for their quick thinking and heroic actions during a medical at one of our schools. While these two officers were on duty, they received information that a student had become was choking and was unable to breathe. Officers got to the scene in their own building, got to the victim, and it was a very chaotic scene. And officers got in, cut through that, and within 2 minutes were able to dislodge the obstruction. And the student was provided oxygen and ended up breathing fine, didn't have any long-term challenges. The student was transported to the hospital out of an abundance of caution, but was alert and conscious when he left. Yeah, this just really underscores the critical role that our school resource officers play in ensuring the safety and well-being of students and staff. Officers Jansen and Arthur clearly demonstrated exactly what it means to be prepared, professional, and committed while serving not only our community as a whole, but the community inside that school. So it was remarkable work by both officers.
Congratulations to those officers. Let's move ahead to Public Works. A few things to update you on here. And we provide some pictures of paving, which, Mayor, is a very good sign because that means people can start to drive on this road very soon.
Absolutely. The contractor paved the final layer of asphalt on all project streets in the reclaim and overlay area. This week, the contractor plans to work on final restoration and some punch list items, very standard for every one of these projects that we're doing. And you do have the photos, and the project information can be found on our website at newhopemn.gov.
Let's go to underneath the ground now. Public Works looking at the sewers and give us a little story behind the sewers and the age of the sewers in the city and some extra work that happens to keep them going a bit longer.
Yeah, when we talk about infrastructure, a lot of times that includes the piping under the ground.
Mhm.
And we put our pipes in the ground in the late 60s, early 70s, and they were made out of ductile clay. And those crack, those get infiltrated by roots, things like that, and it causes water to get inside them. That becomes a problem because the sanitary water is going to the Met Council where it gets filtered. And the Met Council can tell how much water we've used versus how much water we're treating.
Mhm.
And if we're treating a whole lot more water than we're using, than we're dispensing, that shows an inflow and infiltration problem. So what we have gone to do is we are lining our sanitary sewer mains, and that is a thick rubberized coating, plastic coating that goes on the inside of the pipes. It seals any of the cracks and it fortifies the excuse me, the pipes. And what that does is that helps make them more pliable for when we have frost, heaving, and ground movement. So we're working on doing that. We're televising a section of the pipes now,
Mhm.
um, and it's important for us to keep up with this. I'm having lunch today with a series of mayors, with Representative Ilhan Omar, and Representative Omar is carrying a $1.2 million grant bill for the city of New Hope to help us extend how much sewer piping that we can reline. So that's important that we're able to keep up with this and get as much of it done at as low of a cost to the city as possible.
All right, more to come on that as the meetings take place. Let's go to Park and Rec and talk about a lot that has just recently happened. It was a busy weekend and last week in the world of Park and Rec. And first, we go to some folks in costumes traveling around one of the city parks. It looks like it was a great event this past weekend.
Yep, the Trick or Trot event took place last Saturday at Civic Center Park from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. With a free showing of Monsters Inc.
Mhm.
That started at 6:45 p.m. Great event, lots of folks. It was a fun and an enjoyable event.
The weather cooperated. Hopefully, people had cool costumes to stay cool out there when it
Absolutely,
was so warm. Let's
yeah.
talk about looking ahead to winter and spring. Park and Rec again working on that, and this is something they do on a regular basis, always looking ahead.
Yeah, they don't get the luxury of dealing with the here and now only. They're not only dealing with the here and now, but they're planning for the winter and spring activities. And that brochure continues to get worked on so that we can publicize the great classes that they offer.
And Park and Rec obviously does a lot with the classes and activities, but also keeps an eye on nature around the parks. And one of the ways they're working on one of the parks is actually teaming up with some residents. Tell me about this great work to get rid of that nasty buckthorn.
Yep, there was a group of residents who got together and decided that they wanted to connect with the city and work on some buckthorn removal down at Northwood Park. Sadly, that was not something that we knew about during the budget process. And so that was something that wasn't budgeted for. But our residents are out there removing the buckthorn, and our city forester is assisting them with identification and best practices. And we just truly appreciate all that these residents are doing.
I am sure the city forester smiling ear to ear with all of that help and some extra hands to get rid of that. Let's
Absolutely.
let's hop over to the golf course. It was a busy place this past weekend, and you're saying because of the time shift that we're in with the sun, it
Yeah.
actually benefits the course. How?
Well, we get a lot of requests to do nighttime golf.
Okay.
And when it gets darker earlier, we're able to have these tournaments come out and they can play when it's dark. And we had an event, the St. Raphael's Glow Golf event was Saturday night. It started at 7:30.
Hmm.
We had everyone off the course by 9:30.
Yeah.
So, and just before that, we had Chicks with Sticks, and women's only golf tournament. That was Saturday from 10 to noon. And what a raucous, fun group they were.
I can
So,
imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Good for
So,
them. Well,
absolutely.
we're going to tie Park and Rec now into human resources because there is an opening coming up within the city for a longtime employee who has decided to retire. Give us that information.
Yeah, Director Susan Rader advised that she was going to be retiring at the end of February 2026. And Director Rader has been a part of this park system since I've been around
Hmm.
and worked her way up to the director role, has been a very strong, steady um, leader
Yeah.
in our parks and rec and in our community. And she has decided it's time to move on to the next chapter.
Mhm.
Um, Sad to see her go, but very excited for her for this opportunity. So what happens is we obviously need to hire somebody to put into her place. And one of the things that I've really appreciated about New Hope is their succession planning. And the theory is there should be somebody who can step in and do my job.
Hmm.
And she has worked with her staff to ensure that people have the knowledge, the ability. Um, it's super important, especially when it comes to retirements and things like that, to have somebody that can come in. But we also have to keep in mind that life happens. And, if you're not doing succession planning and the person in charge has some sort of a tragic incident, hit by a bus, whatever it is, um, you need to have people that are ready to go. And
Hmm.
so, New Hope really has a strong eye on succession planning for every one of their leaders. And so, what will happen is they've opened it up. It's opened up internally through October 8th for the application process. If we go through the process and nobody really stands out that this should be the person, then we'll post it externally and see what applicants we get there. If we do find internal candidates that will make the grade, then there won't be the need to do that. But I am confident that Director Rader has prepared her team to continue to thrive even in her absence.
Well, congratulations to Susan. We've had the chance to work with her many times over the years here with stories at CCX Media, and always a pleasure to work with. And
Yeah.
this really continued the tradition of great directors for Park and Rec. We are in the background now working on the New Hope History Project, and that's one thing that is clear throughout the years, Mayor, is that there have been key people in charge of that department that have really made a difference. And cities outside of New Hope recognize New Hope because of their Park and Rec. Is that correct?
And it started with Harvey Feldman,
Right.
who was literally a visionary, and he had this idea of what Parks and Recs should be,
Hmm.
and it really crafted it and made it as a great asset to the city. Ron Lehman was followed in those steps. I mean, it was just we have had a great number of outstanding Parks and Rec directors, and I don't see that changing.
I would agree. And let's leave you with one final note here, something that Park and Rec is involved in, but also it's a double header day of events in the city of New Hope coming up on October 23rd. What kicks off that evening and what ends the evening, Mayor?
Yeah, it's going to be action packed. We
Yeah.
will start at 5 p.m. from 5 to 7 p.m. again on October 23rd, which is a Thursday at New Hope City Hall, is going to be City Day. This event is going to feature food trucks and display police, fire, and public works vehicles in the parking lot. Inside, the residents can visit with department employees. Each department will have their own setup area. You have a question about public works, you got a question about inspections, you got a question for the council. I will be there, as I'm sure will some of our other council members. And then during that, the New Hope Human Rights Commission is going to host an art exhibit showcasing local artwork by our kindergartners. And that's always an adorable thing.
You bet.
And then from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., the New Hope Police Department will host Trunk or Treat in the parking lot, providing fun Halloween-themed events to conclude the evening. So it's great. We do know that the food trucks that will be there are going to be the Kenny's Meatball Wagon, Unbreakable, and the Mi Gente. So those will be the three food trucks that will be present. And we invite everyone to come out and join us. It's a great time.
Should be a great event, and you might even see some of the council members and other staff members kind of mixing up the Halloween fun with the city day, and so there might be some costumes involved. And I have it on a good word from Officer Lee Larson that there's some great candy ready for everyone who comes to that event. Is that true, Mayor?
That is always a tough night for me because, man, the candy is great.
Yes, it is. All right. Again, that happens on Thursday, October 23rd, 5 to 7 for City Day, 7 to 8 again for the Trunk or Treat. And again, all of this on the city's website, newhopemn.gov. Find out what is going on there. Mayor, thanks again for your time this week. We look forward to talking to you again next week. Have a great week.
Dave, thank you. You too, sir.
And stick with us. Here's a look at some other things happening in the New Hope area. For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.